So I've been talking a lot recently about the heavyweight division. I think there's some great fights coming up in the heavyweight division, some great fights being talked about. I mentioned in previous videos, I talked about Robert Helenius versus Johan Dupont. I think that's an underrated fight. I think it's a very good fight. We've got Alexander Povetkin and Deontay Wilder are going to go at it. Another great fight. I'm picking Wilder to beat Povetkin, but we'll see what happens. Also, we've got the over in Germany, the Kubrat Pulev Derek Chisora fight, which I think is an excellent matchup. I've got my thoughts on that fight on a video. I think there are some really good fights. Obviously, there's the rematch between Klitschko and Fury that's being talked about. It's not confirmed yet, but all indications are that it's going to happen. I'm not sure if it'll happen. We'll have to wait and see. Great fights. You've got Joshua and Martin. I'm expecting Joshua to win that fight. There's some talks of David Haye perhaps getting a shot at Lucas Brown. That there are some very explosive potential fights that are either signed or are being talked about. So the heavyweight division's in a great place right now, man. It's really looking good, and I've always been a huge fan of the heavyweight division. I think it's a really good division. I think it always has been, and it's in a really good place right now. It is. I'm excited about it. Well, I'm here with another video because there's another fight being talked about in the heavyweight division that I think is a great matchup, and that's between undefeated 18-0 heavyweight prospect Joseph Parker, and there's a lot of talk about him perhaps fighting Carlos Takam. Now, if you don't know who Carlos Takam is, he's a very exciting heavyweight contender. He's a guy who he comes forward, he's very heavily muscular, very strong, hits hard, got a decent chin. He's always in a great fight. Very, very entertaining fighter. If you want to see an excellent fight, check out the Alexander Povetkin Carlos Takam fight. Now, Carlos Takam ended that fight on his back. He got knocked out cold in the 10th round with a left hook. But prior to that point, that fight was very close, very competitive. Some people even had Carlos Takam up. It was a very good fight. It was a back and forth war. It was one of the fights of the year. It really was a tremendous fight. And Carlos Takam, he also got robbed against Mike Perez, who was a very good heavyweight contender at the time. But back when Mike Perez had a lot of momentum, Carlos Takam, the fight got scored a draw, but it was a clear robbery. Okay, I don't know how those judges had that fight a draw. I had Takam winning that fight clearly. He's a very good fighter, Carlos Takam. Very exciting. He also beat Tony Thompson. He outworked Tony Thompson. Very good fighter. And he's being talked about fighting Joseph Parker. Now, this fight, I will say this fight is not 100% confirmed. I've heard some reports that Takam apparently doesn't want the fight. I don't know what to believe. I don't think Takam would avoid the fight. I do think that he wants the fight. I've just heard several reports from third party that he apparently doesn't want the fight. I don't know. But there's been a lot of talk about the fight, and I really hope that this fight goes ahead because I think it's another great, intriguing matchup for the heavyweight division. Now, first of all, let's talk about Joseph Parker. Now, there is a lot of buzz about Joseph Parker, just like there's a lot of buzz about Anthony Joshua, because these young heavyweight contenders, they're really bringing a lot of life into the heavyweight division, and Joseph Parker is one of the best among them. He's very powerful, he's very explosive, he's really talented. He's got a good jab. He moves well for a big guy. He's pretty quick. He's got very good power. He's a good fighter. Really good, young, talented heavyweight prospect, and he's undefeated. And if you look at some of the guys he's fought, he hasn't fought the best opposition. His opposition has, it's been pretty mediocre. I think the best guys that he's fought are people like Cali Meehan and what's his name, Sherman the Tank Williams, but those guys are tough, but they're not world level fighters, and I mean, they're not even really top domestic level fighters. They're just tough guys that you fight on your way up. So that bodes well for Carlos Takam here, because if this fight goes ahead, Carlos Takam will certainly be a huge, and I mean huge, step up in class for Joseph Parker, because Joseph Parker hasn't fought anybody of anywhere near the level of anywhere near the talent of Carlos Takam. Carlos Takam, if he's able to get inside, if he's able to work the body, if he's able to take this fight deep, we don't know how Joseph Parker's going to react, because Joseph Parker has never fought at this level before. So, as I said, we don't know how he's going to react. We don't know how he's going to deal with somebody like Takam. But if I was to break the fight down, And if I was to predict the fight, if I was forced to make a pick, I would probably go with Joseph Parker to win the fight, because even though he is inexperienced, even though it is a step up, you cannot deny the man's talent. He is a very, very talented contender. And Carlos Takam, although Carlos Takam is very tough, very experienced, and brings a lot to the table, and this fight definitely is a step up for Joseph Parker, I think Joseph Parker's talent will be the difference. I think Joseph Parker has an excellent jab, and I think that when Carlos Takam's coming forward and trying to work his body and trying to out hustle him and trying to outwork him on the inside, if Joseph Parker can just take a step back and just get that jab going, I can honestly see him outboxing Carlos Takam. So yeah, maybe when the fight becomes official, I'll make a prediction. But as of now, I'm leaning towards Joseph Parker for the win. I just think that his talent will be the difference. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about this fight. Do you think it's a good fight? I personally think it's a great fight. What do you think about the heavyweight division? Let me know. I'm out.